Hel- Hello, breathers. Welcome back to one more match. We are near deep into ECW. We are on the 10th of April 2007. I butchered that. And very quickly, just have to give a warning because this episode will vaguely mention a piece of shit in real life. Vince McMahon. Um, just to clarify, because he's in the first segment, I'm going to kind of mention him. Just skip about 5 minutes after this segment. But yes, I am joined by Ash. So,
Hello.
and yeah, we are here.
It's a wild state of affairs, and where we're doing a trigger warning for wrestling content. The
It-
Unhinged channel.
yeah, it's just for Vince because it's just in case people are like, oh, he's mentioning Vince. We kind of have to. He is sadly a key part of this channel. Well, not channel, art of ECW, even though it's a small one. So he comes out and he's not the champion yet. He's not champion yet. Don't worry. That's not until Backlash. Spoiler, by the way. Um, but he's coming out here and he's like, well, lads, um, I battered Bobby Lashley. He's not going to appear now, is he, Mister Lashley? And then he's like, let me just show you the highlight of what my son Shane, the product of my semen. That's what he said once. That's what he said once, guys. Okay. Um, Shane, Shane Umaga and Vince um, all battered Bobby on Raw the previous night. They beat the shit out of him and made him bleed. But watching it, right? So you obviously have Shane who's holding Lashley. I think to his left side. I think if Yamaga who's kind of holding his chin, but the way he has him is like he's going to do that to him. Just do that. It's just very like he's just gonna stick his thumb in his mouth, which is just weird. But yeah, Vince is basically saying at Backlash, they just put it the Irish and English way away. At Backlash, two of my mates and me are going to batter you, lad. And at Backlash, it will be Bobby Lashley versus Vince.
Well, the funny bit is obviously Lashley says Vince says you're not going to fight my dad, and obviously Vince just steps on in. Where's Lashley's dad?
We can get Lashley's dad if he's alive at this time. If he's alive, um, but yeah. So yeah, that's what Vince does. That's the Vince.
Or his sisters? But
I think one of them were very young at this time, so I don't think they could really get involved. Shout out to Max Caster, who played one of Bobby Lashley's sisters. Um, but yeah, so that's that. That's that. So that should be the Vince segment over. If we do reference him, sorry, but he's basically at Backlash. The one ECW match on the show will be the Yamaga and the McMahons versus Yamaga and I don't know Yamaga and the McMahons versus both Bobby Lashley and himself. Bobby Lashley and Bobby Lashley and Bobby Lashley. I'll be a sort of thing. Yeah. I can't wait. I honestly I can't wait for the match, but I'm also from memory of not watching it, but from hearing like I say scuttlebutt, but I don't know if that's the word. But from what I heard, from what I've seen of this match, I believe it's just Shane and Umaga beating the shit out of Bobby. Or Vince kind of awkwardly stands in the ring doing that, like, hey, kind of just doing that, like just motioning. I from memory, that's what I remember him doing. I haven't seen the match in years. That's all I remember him trying to go, hey, fucking fight. That's why he probably does. But we go backstage and we see that RVD is talking to Punk, and RVD's like, "We're so alike, man. We're so alike." And I'm like, "Yeah, but one of you can pass the drug test, the other one fucking can't. So don't really know how you're alike, man. Uh, I know that might be a bit mean, but I don't know how you're really alike." Um, and he's like, "Me and you are sort of alike, man. You remind me of the original ECW." And I think you should join the original. And then Elijah Burke comes in and it's like, yo, no, you should join the new breed, Punk. You'll be better in the new breed. We'll look after you. We'll treat you right. Despite the fact we won our match last week and not at WrestleMania, we will be better than the original. I just want to say that, Punk. Good luck on your match tonight. And then Snitsky is kind of creeping around the women's locker room, which is just a sight to see. Um, yeah, albeit there's only 3 women in the locker room, but he's still creeping around there. So, yeah, that's something. And anything you want to say on Snitsky or CM Punk? Um,
Um, interesting to see where the Punk stuff's gonna go. And Snitsky, who the fuck knows? See, I don't hate Snitsky, and he's a big physical presence, which is also kind of fun. Um, but also I don't really know how to feel about it. Like I like the idea of where they're going, but you just know that the fact that he's that they're just gonna do something stupid with it, aren't they?
yeah,
So, oh yeah, Snitsky is gonna be really fun. It's like, okay, he's really scary. Oh, he's kicked a fucking baby doll into the crowd. All right, all right.
it's interesting when I go back to this time period and eventually go to 08 and 09. Remember some of 09 and mostly some of 08. Because for people who don't know, I get my boy in 08. I get fucking Braden Walker. So, like, come on, guys. And Ash also gets his lad in Big Daddy V. So, there is some highlights. But I am interested to see how they are going to try and rebuild this clusterfuck of a, like, brand. Because y- I know how they're going to try and rebuild it and how it doesn't work out. But it's interesting to see that, like, how I know how they tried to do it and how it failed and how they have to, like, detour the plan. But I can't wait to see how the pieces come together, if that makes sense. Like, I know the jigsaw puzzle when it's complete and how it basically goes on fire, but I actually can't wait to see how they try and go about it originally and what the original plan was. I don't know if you are excited for that, but I am. Um, no, yeah.
Meh.
It's just no. It's just more interesting to see, like, because they've really lost their footing since Paul Heyman left. Like, they've nowhere to really go. They're just kind of floating by in a sense because they've lost Paul Heyman, who basically was like, Vince, fuck off. We're not doing that. We're doing this. Vince being like, I don't like you. Get out. And then he's like, all right, well. And Vince like, you're only messing. Why'd you leave? Tell me to get out. Your fault Bobby Lashley's champion. Um, and, and ever since Heyman left, ECW hasn't really found a footing, and it's going to again be interesting to see where they go with it, and it's going to be nice to see. It's going to be nice to see basically everyone cheering for CM Punk and Vince going, Johnny Nitro, how about him? How about him? Um, but yeah, our first match is Kevin Thorne against Tommy Dreamer. Side note, Tommy Dreamer comes out right, and someone fucked up the graphic for Tommy Dreamer, as it doesn't say Tommy Dreamer, it just says the original. Like, that's how bad Tommy Dreamer is. He doesn't even get his own
Well,
name
that's the
right.
whole point of Dreamer, right? Is he doesn't have his own shit. He is just whatever the fuck. He'll wear the fucking merch for the show. He's just boring us. I still think Tommy Dreamer's fucking horrendous.
I mean, I'm watching back, watching these ECWs has really made me not a fan of Tommy. I know, like, I'm probably not seeing the prime of Tommy Dreamer's career, but I don't know when the fuck his prime is. Um, but watching this has given me appreciation to most of the ECW roster, excluding, like, Dreamer. Like, Sandman, I've become a fan of him because of this arc. Same with Sabu. Same with, not really RVD, because I was just sort of a fan of RVD, but kind of sort of these talents that weren't really showcased before. Um, so up next is the ECW girls. They come out, they do a little dance, and then Gene Snitsky comes out, and he basically just stalks the women. And then Boss Mahoney comes out, whacks him with a chair, and then Snitsky big boots them. And that's the end of that. Yeah, fun segment, wasn't it?
Balls Mahoney did a terrible job at defending Layla.
He did.
He just hits him with the chair on his head and gets kicked in the face. Bomb. It's over. Good job.
Yeah. And then Our main
I
event.
still think it's wild that Balls Mahoney, other than Punk, gets the best reactions from the audience. Like, that's still the craziest bit to me. Not even RVD. People don't even care about RVD. That's how dead the crowds are. But they like Balls Mahoney because he is inherently likable.
Yeah, but continuing on, Marcus Corvon, came on ground with Elijah Burke takes on RVD, Rob Van Dam, with Sabu. RVD doesn't have his awesome TNA theme yet, just yet. That's a couple of years down the line. RVD, the whole fucking show. Sorry, I'm getting distracted now. But it's an alright match between Marcus Corvon and RVD, or MCV versus RVD. Yeah, it's an alright match. Monty Brown still proving he can arguably be one of the best workers in this time frame of ECW. Don't know if you agree with that. But definitely showing his worth. Just a shame that he's gone in a few months. Really sad. They just make it into ROH. And then he does defeat RVD. And then CM Punk comes out and he's like, um, well, mate, I'm here now and I'm gonna help you. And he joins the New Breed, and that is ECW. I don't know how much of this is going to be made in and how much is going to be cut out because of my outlandish take. We might have to redo it. I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
I'm not redoing shit.
Fair enough. I will have to edit around me. So
I
yeah,
mean, it's another pretty middling episode of it's just another middling episode of ECW. Not really much progression. We're heading towards the Vince McMahon era of ECW, which isn't really something to be excited about. I honestly, the worst bit about it is the fact that none of the crowds give a single solitary shit. Like, everybody's sat on their hands saying, "I'm not clapping." But it doesn't help how for like the last 7 months you've had the originals versus a new breed, and you keep just interchangeably swapping out which matches do what. So yeah, it's just a very questionable time for ECW. But I mean, hey, at least we don't need to watch. I mean, first, obviously, they only ever did December to Dismember, right?
yeah.
And the one night stands as their pay per view. But at least when we actually have to watch a pay per view that also has ECW matches on, at least it's going to be with a more stacked card than not. So definitely. Well, I don't think we're heading for a better time because obviously the Benoit tragedy is coming up, so it's obviously going to be a pretty horrific time for the wrestling world. But yeah, I don't really have a positive to say actually. It's just, I
It's
don't
go-
know.
it's
This time's notoriously shit in wrestling, so
it's going to be awful the next couple of months. But if you stick with us, we will try and how can I positive in this possibly? We're going to try and make it easier for people to digest this. I think the Finn stuff we can really laugh at, even though he is a horrible human being. We can laugh at the character Finn. Benoit, we will just truck along and try to blatantly ignore what happens until that happens. As my motto is to, and obviously when the pay per view happens that he is featured in or is supposed to be featured in, um, I'll obviously acknowledge what happened in the surrounding world and what will happen. Sadly, and then yeah, when he's eventually gone, I would like it's the end of Benoit. He'll be referenced maybe, but he won't be really acknowledged, and that will be it. But yes, the next couple of months, if you are a person who likes to separate the artist from the art from the artist, whatever the slogan is, then yeah, feel free to join us. It's going to be a rough couple of months, but everything should be sorted by the end of June. Like I was like the troubling times really is what I'm trying to get at basically. So yeah, so when you're finished with Finch, you get Chris. Woo! Go stay with Uncle Chris, guys. But yeah, it's gonna be a rough time, but hopefully you enjoy it with us. We'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Bye bye.